What is up, sheepdogs? Welcome to Changing the Culture podcast with your host, me, Autumn Clifford. If you've been listening to me for a while, then you know that we've recently undergone some changes. I talked about it last episode, but just in case you didn't catch that. So essentially, we've rebranded. I've made posts about it on my Instagram, on my social medias, and also I have a whole podcast episode, the one prior to this one, discussing it. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for supporting me, but I'm just going to ask, so if you want to get caught up, just go check that out. And just for business purposes, and so everything's like uniform, I'm sticking with my maiden name, Autumn Clifford. I think I mentioned that, but I really went through like this identity crisis, like a couple years ago when I had to change my last name. And so anyways, I just felt like for branding purposes and the fact that I already own autumnclifford.com, you can go check that out. That's my website, and I've owned it since 2016, since I started business. I just figured, you know what, we'll just stay there. So today what we're going to be talking about is how to get the fuck out of your own way. And honestly, it could be because I need it for myself, and what I have found as what I need for myself, how I'm helping myself, it always, always, always benefits somebody else. And it really changes lives, because this is the energy that I'm in. This is the mindset that I'm in. So I'm literally going to kind of coach myself out of it. And by doing that, that's going to help you in turn. It's really beautiful, actually, when this happens. And so I'm sitting here. I'm actually not in my office recording this, so I don't know what the sound quality is going to be like. I'm sitting in my car. It's raining out. It is cold out. They were calling for snow all day today, so it's a little obviously warmer than freezing. And I'm sitting in my car at the end of my driveway looking at the pond that we live on. We live on this really beautiful, it might as well be a lake, but we call it a pond. And it's beautiful. And the water always cleanses my soul. I'm very drawn to water. A lot of humans enjoy the water. A lot of us enjoy lakes, and we enjoy oceans, and we just really want to be around bodies of water. And I think that's a really spiritual thing. But I want to talk to you about getting out of your own way. So I'm sitting here and I'm just kind of pondering. I'm really asking myself deep questions. I'm doing the things that I would suggest all of my clients or any one of you listening to do when you're having just this. It's not like anything is wrong. My life, there's nothing wrong on my life. My life is actually beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. But it doesn't matter really kind of what's going on in your life. It all matters like what's going on the inside. And so you could be having a beautiful experience, or you could be having a shitty experience, and be facing some of the things that, I'm facing, or feeling some of the thoughts, right? And the thoughts become, I'm not good enough for blah, blah, whatever it is. That seems to be like the most basic, the most common limiting belief all of my clients have in the back of their head is, I'm just not good enough. I'm not good enough for the husband. I'm not good enough for the wife. I'm not good enough for the job. I'm not good enough to be skinny. I'm not good enough to be muscular. I'm not good enough for, to be rich. I'm not good enough to get the promotion. I'm not good enough to, be the leader. I'm just not good enough, whatever it is. The truth is that's just a lie. These are lies made up, in your head, and we develop them very early on, I believe. That's what I believe. I believe we develop these limiting beliefs really early on because things happen to us when we're really impressionable, like at very impressionable ages, and they stick with us until we actually realize that, holy shit, that's what's driving me. It's sad to say that I've spent the first 30 years of my life letting these subconscious thoughts and beliefs run me. But what I'm very proud of is that for the last, I'd say probably, I've been very serious about it for the last year, that I've been flipping them. Well, I would say this. I've been pretty serious about it for the last 3. I've gotten very fucking serious about it with the last year. And it just so happens that this last year, my life has definitely 10x'd. And I think that that's no coincidence. I really don't. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. And so, just kind of like flipping it back to you, like, so how do you get out of your own way? Well, figure out what you're thinking about. Like, what are these thoughts? And because what I find is a lot of us, okay, all of us, we want to run away from our shit, right? That's why you find yourself wanting to, like, that's what people talk about, numb out. That's why, you find people who you really respect, who seem to be super successful, and the latter, like people who aren't, doing drugs all the time, drinking all the time, maybe finding themselves addicted to fucking pills, or, having tons and tons of sex, doing all of these things, having these addictions, eating food until you can't move. Or sometimes it's the complete opposite. It's becoming completely obsessed with, the gym. And when you're in the gym, that's all you're thinking about. And so you're doing 2 and 3 times a day sessions because that's all you can think about. And I'm not shitting on anybody going to the gym. Like, don't understand that. I'm just talking about there's an obsession. There's a line here where it becomes unhealthy. And the reason why it's unhealthy is because you're running away from your shit. You're running away from your thoughts. You're running away from your own shit. And I don't know how many times I need to tell you that. But the thing about that, and what I want to really talk to you about, and I want to really bring to your attention, is that the more that we run away from that stuff, the more it's going to follow us, but the more like we're going to attract, and we're going to have like this life that just sucks. And you're not actually ever going to be truly happy. And so, I'm sitting here and I'm literally asking myself like some deep fucking questions. Like, I'm just sitting here like, what is even life? Like, what the fuck is life? Right? Like, I'm just sitting here, like, asking myself that, because it just seems so crazy that, like, all we do is, like, we run around and we go through these, like, emotional journeys and have, like, these physical experiences and have these very fucking hard times, and all this stuff just for us to die, right? And especially during this pandemic and stuff, just death seems to be, on the forefront. I know for us first responders, like, that's always on the forefront for us. That is always on our minds. We see it, we've experienced it over and over. We train to avoid it and not get killed, right? Over and over and over. And so death it's very much on the forefront. And so I'm just sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is the point of all of this? Like, why should I, like, put myself through and do the hard work? Right? If all I'm going to do is die. Like, I'm sure you guys have had some sort of thought like this, and maybe you haven't. Maybe I've gone off the deep end. But I'd like to think not. And I'd like to think that, a lot of successful people have had these thoughts. Because when you can get here, then what happens is you realize that everything else is like bullshit. When you start getting deep and you start really asking yourself the hard questions, like, who the hell am I? And like, what am I doing here? And what is my purpose? Like, what's my passion? And what really pulls me? And what really lights me up inside? And what do I love to do? And what is not working in my life? When you start asking yourself these questions, I'm telling you, you're really looking at life and you're grabbing the bull by the horns and you're doing things a lot differently than 99% of the population. You're no longer living as a zombie. You're no longer just going through the motions. You are literally like, you're facing it, right? You're facing that shit. You're like, okay, like, I want to go, I'm just using these for examples, like, right? Like, I want to go be a police officer, or I want to get promoted, or I want to become a firefighter, or whatever it is. But then you're like, but then right after that, there's some thoughts. What's the thought? And that's really where I go with my clients, and is, what's that thought that's right after it? I want to do blah, blah, but what's that thought? That's your shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's the stuff that's going to hold you back. That's the stuff that's going to fuck you up. I was talking to another coach earlier this morning, and she's a very spiritual coach, and she's talking about things from like an energetic level and like a vibe level, put it as a vibe. And the reason I'm talking about this is if you're a first responder, your gut, your vibes, they run you. Okay, so we're not gonna fucking dance around that. Like, that's the truth. Like, gut feelings, how you feel about things, your gut runs you, because that's how you're gonna survive, and you know that. You know your sixth sense is everything. So I'm sitting here and I'm having this discussion. I'm having this like deep discussion with this coach, because a fellow coach of mine, because this is the type of shit I do. And she's like, you know, she was telling me about how that there's what happens with people when they're not successful, or they find themselves getting tripped up, is it's because their energy, there's like this misalignment in their energy, right? Like, so they're applying for this job. So let's say you're applying for this job, right? But you haven't faced your shit yet. You haven't like gotten real with yourself yet. When there could be an energetic misalignment of you're putting out like, I'm going to do this job and I'm going to be great and I'm the best candidate, right? But energetically, in the back of your mind, you have this thought process of, no, I'm not. I'm really not good enough. I'm not good enough for this job. I'm not good enough for this job. And so while everything you're putting forth is beautiful and brilliant, and you just had a great oral board interview, whatever you want to call it, but the people on the oral board, they're like, something was just off with that candidate. Like, I don't know, like, Becky says she's going to be great, you know, but something's off. Well, it's because in the back of Becky's head, could be your head, you've got this thought process going on. And it's running you. And so the energetically, which everything is energy, can't get away from it, you're misaligned. And so I just think it's so important, you know, but yet what do? We're going to run. And so then what happens is you don't get the job, and then what do? I'm this, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. And you're just continuing the fucking cycle, and you're going to run from those feelings, and you're going to numb out, and you're going to feel like shit, and you're going to do all these things to avoid feeling like shit, except actually facing the fact that, yo, I didn't get this fucking job. That fucking sucks. I feel like shit about it. And then be like, well, okay, so what's underneath that? Did I ever really think that I could get the job? Did I ever really, truly think that I could get the job? And if there is anything other than I 100% feel in my soul that job is mine, then you have work to do. And I guarantee you that if you didn't get the job, then there's something in there. A lot of type A people love to fuck with me on this until I have a conversation with them. And then I ask them questions that they didn't even realize was in their head. So a lot of you listening might be like, Autumn, I know that job's for me. But deep down inside, look, you're not kidding me. You having this revelation and trying to prove me wrong does nothing for me. I just want to throw that out there, okay? Because I don't get, you know, all due respect, I don't give a shit. If you want to be mind fucked for the rest of your life, that's on you. But I'm just telling you this because I want to help you, and because this is what is holding you back. This is why you continuously are getting in your own way. It's because there's an energetic misalignment. You've got a thought process, a deep down thought process that's messing with you. If you are not getting where you want to be, that's what it is. I put out a video on my IGTV. You can go check it out at Officer Autumn. I put it out yesterday. And it really talks about how the fact that, you know, if you think no, you can't, I'm telling you, yes, you can. Like, if you think no, then the universe is going to be like, okay, you're right, no. Why would it go against you? It's not going to. But if you think yes, the universe is going to go, okay, yeah, here you go. It's just the way that it works. It's because the laws of attraction, it's like all these energetic principles. That's the truth. This is the truth, okay? And you don't get to miss that, and you don't get to bypass that. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how hard you try, okay? You have to get out of your own way. So, like, after listening to this, like, what I want you to do is I want you to take a step back, and I want you to just kind of, like, recalibrate in your own head, like, what's going on with you, and what are your thoughts, and where are you falling short on believing all of the things you want to believe? We want to believe that we're worthy of $1 million, yet we're making 60,000, 70,000 a year, but yet you think you want Like you're in your head and you're like, I want to make $1 million. I'm a millionaire. Like I can be a millionaire. There's no reason I can't be. Like, I want to make $1 million, but yet you're falling way short. Well, the only reason that that's happening is because you truly don't believe that you can make $1 million. Same thing with the job. Can't get in the job. Can't get the promotion. You're getting treated like shit in the job. Pay attention to what your thoughts are. Now, this isn't everything. I mean, sometimes you do need to get out of the department. I've worked for a really shitty department. I had to get out. I had nothing, you know. I'm sure, I will tell you, I'm sure my thoughts brought on a lot of shit from me back then. Like, I think that I definitely brought on a lot of shit from myself because I was just entrenched in, like, everyone hates me. I don't fucking fit in. Fuck this place. But what I'm telling you is because I thought that, I 10x that as well, right? So I'm not saying that, again, there's times where we need to move and there's times where we need to make changes. And when we don't make those changes, the universe is going to step in and then the universe will make those changes for you, i.e. my injury. So there's that. But by and large, if there was something that you want and you do not have it or you keep falling short, there is a thought process in the back of your mind that is keeping you there. And the reason I am so big on thought processes, okay, is because this is it, you guys. You master this and you win at life. You win at life. And it's beautiful. I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. So, master your mind. Master these thoughts. Go in the back of your head. Do the things. If you need help, what I want to tell you, I have a course. I have this beautiful course. It's called the Resilient First Responder. It was rebranded. It was called the Intuitive Sheepdog. It is now called the Resilient First Responder. It has been open since, I think, 2017 when I started putting business owners through this program. It's changed their lives. It's amazing. It's now 50% off. It's an 8-week program. It's completely catered to the first responder. It's going to teach you how to get in there, how to flip these thoughts, how to change your life. You're going to set up a whole new routine. You're going to learn all these things, all these tools. You're going to fill your toolbox full of tools that you've never had, you've never really heard about. You're going to face your shit. I'm going to walk you step by step on facing your shit. I'm literally going to break you down. Then I'm going to build you back up. And you are going to see your life is going to change in a way that has never, ever changed before. I have testimonial after testimonial of first responders that have gone through this program and cannot believe the shit that's in their brain. They cannot believe their thought processes. They cannot believe the things that they've been thinking about. And as soon as they clean them up, as I teach you to do in here, and they start doing things differently, their entire lives have changed. We have several officers that have got into their dream departments. I've got, officers that have rekindled their marriages. A couple of them who really, 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 they were going down bad roads, and they rekindled their marriages. I have officers starting up side gigs, really looking at retirement, even though they're like several years out, but they're preparing. They're doing things that they were afraid to do. They're not settling. They're happy. I have several officers and dispatchers who are in this program who are working midnights, and they are like, and they're young. These aren't old guys, and girls that have kids and shit. These are young officers who are like, I'm actually enjoying nights. Like, holy shit. Like, I can't believe how happy I am. Like, I'm so happy. They're finding themselves having more money than they've ever had. I mean, just all these things because they're changing their thoughts. They're doing the work. They're doing the work. And you hear me preach about it all the time, but, it's available for everybody, So anyways, the Resilient First Responder, it is open until next week. And then it will be closing. And if you feel called to this, if you are interested and your gut's like, yeah, pay attention, check it out, pay attention. If you have questions, get on the socials, get at me, you can email me, you can DM me, and me or my team will get back to you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's actually really jam-packed full of amazing, beautiful things. So you may have to go back and re-listen after you get over the initial shock of me kind of kicking your ass with love, because that's what I do. All right, sheepdog, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.